What's good, guys? Akeal Senpai here. We are back with another video, and today we're doing more anime talk. The previous two videos have been doing very well, guys. I'm very appreciative of all the love and support you guys have been showing me. So be sure to comment your favorite anime. Let me know what you guys enjoy and what I should probably talk about or watch next, and maybe even react to. And today we are going to be talking about Hunter x Hunter vs. Jojo. Now, if anybody knows me personally, Hunter x Hunter is probably like my favorite anime besides Naruto and Dragon Ball and all those other mainstream things. I feel like Hunter x Hunter has kind of been a little bit underrated in some communities. Although for the people that do really watch anime, you know, you will find that person that does talk about Hunter x Hunter, much like Jojo in that respect. And considering that, you know, you don't really hear that many people talk about Jojo like that, except for the people that really watch anime like that. And that, I guess this is what kind of inspired me to make this video, because although Hunter x Hunter is like up there in terms of anime, I feel like it's definitely top 5, maybe even top 3. Jojo, after watching, you know, about 5 parts now, part 5 is almost over, as you guys can tell with the new opening and everything like that. But with that in consideration, this is kind of you know, made me want to edit my list just a bit. And you know, it's been a little hard for me to decide, you know, which anime do I feel is superior, and you guys can give your insight in the comments below. But anyways, in this video, I will be giving an answer into what I believe is the better anime, and maybe you guys can, you know, let me know in the comments once again what you guys feel is superior, your reasons why, and so on. Now, within Hunter x Hunter, we follow the main protagonists, Gon, Killua, Kurapika, and Leorio. And you know, what's very interesting about this is we don't even really see Kurapika and Leorio like completely like throughout the whole series, but they're still considered main characters because they're still mentioned and everything, although we don't see them all the time. Now, within these arcs, we do experience something that is kind of a commonality to what is considered Homon and Jojo, and this is, you know, pretty much a commonality with many anime, especially fighting anime, you know, ki, chakra, whatever you want to call it, and that is Nen. And you know, the way how this goes about is, you know, eventually once people become more skilled with Nen, they are able to manifest their own abilities and able to decide on their own rules. Whatever has the strictest rules on their abilities actually becomes the most powerful. You see this with Kurapika, for example, who has literally one of the strictest rules on, you know, his Nen abilities, where he's able to pretty much conjure chains, and with him having the Scarlet Eyes, he is able to use all the abilities within the grid of, you know, possibilities, I guess is what it's called. It's been a little while since I watched Hunter x Hunter, but you know, with this all being said, how does that kind of, you know, hold up against the Ripple or Homon? In Homon, we actually don't really see the ability to, I guess, necessarily manifest, you know, objects necessarily. Instead, we are able to use this energy that we use to fend off people that are, I guess, undead, mostly throughout the series, because I mean the Pillarmen are considered undead, I believe. But you know, after this, we kind of see that Homon actually doesn't really have much of an effect on stand users. Even when we see Jonathan Joestar use his Homon, you know, out of like the 2 times he has in part 3, where he probably could have used it more. But honestly, we see that this has no effect on stand users, really, unfortunately. And you know, from there, you know, after Homon, we see the use of stands. Now, when it comes to stands in Jojo, from I believe part 4 and on, we kind of see that the way how a lot of people develop their stands are either that they're born with it or they get shot by one of those arrows, and you know, the arrows gives them the ability to pretty much come up with their stand. Now, the thing is about this is, I believe that some people are able to choose their abilities. Don't get mad at me for that, but I say this only because of what Yoshikage Kira was able to develop once he got the Requiem stand, which is essentially when you stab your stand with an arrow, and this apparently like pretty much turns your stand Super Saiyan essentially, and you know, that's what it is. And this is actually one of the plots of part 5, one of the main things of that, one of the main things that the main characters try to go after to defeat the boss. Now when talking about plot, I'd say Jojo definitely has the superior plot throughout the whole series, and this is based off of the fact that, you know, even with part 1, one of the slowest parts of this whole series within the manga and the anime, it was still really, really good. Now within Hunter x Hunter, in my opinion, the very beginning part where they get into the whole, you know, they're taking an exam for the Hunter exams, I feel that was really like a slow part of the anime. And honestly, you know, I'll have like no, I have like probably like no memory of that, honestly. Like, it's really not memorable at all. Whereas part 1 of Jojo is still memorable, although it did start off slow. And we even get memes from that part. Like, I mean, that kind of says a lot. And the fact that that part is so essential into, you know, what we can understand what goes on, you know, afterwards. I feel this is very, very important. And you know, although you can say the same for Hunter x Hunter, the Hunter exams, especially if you're trying to learn Netero and trying to learn, you know, the characters' backgrounds and what drives them, and honestly, you know, just the whole concept of being a hunter in general. I feel that part 1 of Jojo was still very, very like much more entertaining than was the Hunter exams, because Hunter exams, that was like maybe over 10 episodes, whereas part 1 of Jojo, I mean, although it starts off slow, not all of it is slow and boring. And that first part is only 10 episodes of like the series, so I feel like, you know, that's a plus there. But not only that, when we get into the other parts, the other arcs of what is Jojo versus Hunter x Hunter, I'd say honestly there's more to get to when it comes to Jojo content-wise in general. But just the whole concept of going down generations of the main character for part 1, and just like going throughout time, you know, one part being about, you know, duality between, I guess, not really even brothers, but just a duality of within characters that had to live with each other for a spare amount of time, to, you know, his grandson, and then you know, switching time up to even further in the future, where there's like a huge contrast between each Jojo in the timeline. I just feel like and not only it's so meme worthy. Like in Hunter x Hunter, I mean, it is really, really good, but what memes have you ever seen from Hunter x Hunter, for being honest? I'm just being honest, like I haven't seen any memes from Hunter x Hunter. I've probably seen more memes from Yu Yu Hakusho, which is another show that Takashi has made, versus Jojo, and the music is like, I mean, the music for both series is very, very great. But when it comes to openings and endings, it's really repetitive in Hunter x Hunter. It's literally the same stuff kind of when it comes to openings, but when the endings come, those are fire still. But when Jojo, they got it both right. They got it both right. So that's why I feel, honestly, when it comes to plot and like, you know, just story overall, I'd say Jojo definitely wins that. Now, if we're talking about character development, I say is very, very heavy in both series, honestly, and it's very, very hard to decide on which one is better. you know, it's really, really hard, honestly. In Hunter x Hunter, we start off like with the characters not knowing anything about Nen to getting to the point where they're probably stronger than their original trainers at some point. And you know, maybe not exactly, but we get to see, you know, these characters excel, and we follow these characters much longer than what we do with the main characters of JoJo. I mean, this is because, once again, you know, throughout the whole series, we are switching main characters, you know, within maybe like every 30 episodes. Meanwhile, Hunter x Hunter, you're following like essentially Killua and Gon throughout the whole series. So this is why it's a little complicated into, you know, deciding which one has better character development, because it kind of depends on the part of JoJo we're going to be talking about, and it just depends on which protagonist we're going to be talking about. And generally, when it comes to character development, I feel like it's something that really, really depends on. So, like for example, when we're talking about Jotaro, for example, Jotaro does have great character development, and we learn about this even more, you know, throughout the manga and everything like that, because Part 6 didn't really have an adaptation for the anime just yet, even though Part 5 is almost over. Jotaro, from what we see in Part 3 and how we see him in Part 4, we definitely see this man grow up and everything. He is much more mature about things, and you know, I don't really think I've ever thought of Jotaro being ruthless. You know, he's always seemed to be somebody that observes the situation and, you know, judges correctly. But we see, you know, just how he like talks to people, and you know, just how he plans things out is much different, and just his whole persona just kind of shifted as well. You know, we're talking about somebody that was a teenager, you know, but we see how Jotaro was as a teenager to like a full-grown man now, and he's just like, and now in Part 6 we see him, you know, how he is now with his family and everything like that, and it's just that's the character development within Jotaro. But I mean, as we're talking about other characters, it really just depends, honestly. It really does depend, and it's just hard for me to decide. So I kind of give this a stalemate in some kind of way. Hunter x Hunter may have the upper hand just because we follow the characters a lot more. But with all of these things being said, guys, the conclusion is, honestly, I think I actually like JoJo better. And I say this not only because Hunter x Hunter is in hiatus right now and that there is no other content we can watch from Hunter x Hunter unless we repeat it. I say this because JoJo, we are not only following the same protagonists throughout the whole series, but the same plot, I guess you can say. You know, with Hunter x Hunter, the main goal is that Gon is trying to find his dad, but he's going through all these adversities just to try to get to that. And you know, we kind of get to that, you know, that conclusion that he does end up meeting his dad, but obviously there is a huge cliffhanger, huge plot, like we've been left at a hiatus essentially. Whereas with JoJo, you know, each part has its own agenda, I feel. Each part has its own story, its own main characters, although it may incorporate some characters from the previous parts. They still give the new characters the spotlight, and although it's nice to see the previous characters, it's nice to see, you know, a whole new cast, a whole new, you know, beginning for the series, honestly. And I think that's what makes JoJo, I feel like that's what gives JoJo its spark. You know, whether it be the abilities, you know, the main abilities that go on. So we go from Hamon, we go to stands, and then eventually we see something called the spin. I think that's what it's called in the manga. Don't criticize me, I haven't read the manga yet, but we're going to be talking about that in another video. But you know, just with that whole thing and just having, you know, multiple main characters is just a huge plus. Jojo is something I've been binge watching for like about a month or above, and it's just, I really fell in love with it. The art style changes and everything, the OPs, the endings, and it's just the memes, and it's like the community is also very, very strong. and it has a huge, I feel like a much bigger cult following as well in some cases than Hunter x Hunter, believe it or not. I mean, although Hunter x Hunter I feel is more talked about by the people that do watch more anime, I feel Jojo, you know, although it may have a smaller fan base or a smaller cult following, they're much more active in a lot of ways, whether that be making memes, whether that be watching these reaction videos or making reaction videos or whatever. It's just really, really dope, honestly, and I can't wait to see the adaptations for the future parts. In the next video I will be making a video, just me, I guess, maybe taking guesses on what the next protagonist stands will be or whatever, and hopefully you guys stay tuned for that. I really enjoy all the love and support you guys have been showing me so far, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. My conclusion once again is that Jojo is the superior anime. You know, it's kind of crazy to say. I didn't think anything could beat Hunter x Hunter, especially, you know, I didn't expect my opinion to change so fast, you know, when watching Jojo, especially from how it kind of started off. I mean, I didn't think I would even like the show, let alone it being one of the best anime I've ever watched, and hopefully this just enticed some Hunter x Hunter fans to watch the anime as well. But anyways, I will see you guys later in the next video. Really appreciate all the love and support you guys have been showing me. Peace.